Hey guys, almost grabbed the whole bottle. Welcome back to my wine chat. Actually, I'll show you what I'm drinking. Sterling Wine Vintners Collection Merlot. Don't know where it came from, but I will drink it. What in the world? I don't know what. Whew, that is strong or something. It's like hardcore grapes. I think I'll get used to it. I should have had some wine before I started. Ooh, ew, don't buy that. No, I've never found a wine I don't like. I'm sure I won't mind it though in 20 minutes. Look at that pour. Okay, so a couple of things before I get started on this story time video, which is actually inspired by one of you guys. You were Karen, if you're watching. I know you're watching because you watch a lot of my videos, but she said something to me and I was like, that reminds me of a really funny story that happened to us in Mexico. And I thought, you know what? I feel like we've had a lot of like interesting stories when we've been on vacation. So in honor of our vacation coming up next week, actually by the time you're watching this, we will be like, not flying out, but we'll be like on our way to St. Louis where we're flying out of. So in honor of vacation, I figured this would be a really good video to film and put up for tonight. But first of all, can we talk about, I posted on my I've been on my Instagram all day today. It is just like one of those days where I'm just like, I just want to like be on my stories all day. And so I was like, I'm gonna do a what I eat in the day on Instagram. So kind of like how I do on my YouTube channel, except it's all on Instagram today. And so I've been like not screenshotting, but like photographing like everything that I'm eating and like uploading it. And I always get questions. And this is why I love Instagram and why I really want the swipe up feature, because I always get questions like, where'd you get that? How much is that? Where'd you get that? Can I have the link? What, like everything. And I love it. And I think it's fun to like share things. And that's why I get on Instagram too, is I always like see fun things. I'm like, oh, I want that. So anyways, someone today messaged me. I feel like I need to be like closer. Ooh, that's better. I just had my Yeti. Like I just screenshotted. Why do I keep saying screenshot? I just took a picture of my Yeti and I said water number 2 for the day. She said, this hair, what the heck? She goes, what water do you drink? And like, I just died laughing. Like, I didn't know how to respond. Like, does she want a swipe up link for my water? Like, I just, like, it was just from the refrigerator. So I was like, it's just from the refrigerator. I hope she's watching this. I told her that I totally had to call her out and make fun of her in my stories because it was so funny. Like, I get a lot of like, where'd you get that? Or what kind do you use? Or, you know, like all that stuff. But this by far was like the funniest one. What water do you drink? It's like just the regular water. Anyways, it's not like not funny when I tell a story. I'm so bad at like telling funny stories. I'm about to tell like 4 funny stories. Anyways, also, please tell me, I feel like I need a booster seat. Like I am like short. Now I'm too tall. Okay, I need like a medium-sized booster seat. There we go. Okay, please tell me I'm not the only mom that does this. Cal is potty training right now. I guess. Oof. I thought we were potty training a while ago because he started wanting to wear underwear all the time. Then he stopped, wanted nothing to do with it. And so I just didn't push him. And then, I don't know what's gotten into me, but lately I'm just like, I just like want to be done. And so I've been like kind of pushing him. And so I forced him to go number 2 on the toilet today, and I was the mom that literally took a 2.5 minute video of my child pooping on the toilet just so that I could send it to my husband and show him. And the whole time I'm just like, go, you got this, you got this. Do you need a book? Do you need a wipe? What do you need? And I'm like filming it. And then I sent it today, and I tried to send it to my mom, but it didn't go through. So please tell me I'm not the only one that has filmed their child going to the bathroom, because they're so proud. I was just so proud of him. Okay, anyways, now we're gonna talk about these stories. Okay, so when David and I, before we had children, I feel like we're still really like, actually, we're the exact same. But we used to travel a little bit more when we didn't have kids. And so we went to Las Vegas. I think we've been 4 or 5 times. I actually have a Vegas vlog on this channel because we went like 2 years ago after we had Cal, and it was so much fun. So if you haven't watched that vlog, go watch them because they're fun. But we went when we were 22 for the first time. We were so excited. We were like, we're gonna go to Vegas, we're gonna like go to clubs, we're gonna party, we're gonna drink. Like, we were so excited. And obviously we had a lot of fun because we went back like 4 more times. But here's the story that I want to tell you guys. Okay, so Dave's gonna kill me for telling this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyways because I think it's so funny. And looking back, like when I was like thinking about this story in my head, like, oh, we're so stupid sometimes. Like, I don't know, it could have been a lot worse. But anyways, so here's what happened. We went to this nightclub, and it was in our hotel. We were staying at the Mirage. So we went to this nightclub in there, and David, we were looking at like what to get to drink, and they had a drink special that night, and the drink special was absinthe shots, and it was, your first one was like $20, your second shot was like $15, your third shot was $10, and your fourth shot and every shot after was free. So David was like, well, that's a deal. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great deal. We should do that. So I think I sipped like one of them, and I like took a sip or maybe even just a whiff of it, and I was like, no, like I just got vodka and soda. So he's getting his shots. Also, they had like this cage in there. It was really cool. It had like a little staircase, and there's like this cage. So I was like totally like, I'm getting in that cage and dancing. And I was in this like long gown, and it was like really low cut. And this was like 8 years ago, so it was like really scandalous dress. It was like so cute. I hope my mom doesn't watch this video. Mom, don't watch this video because I don't want you to hear all these stories. Anyways, so I'm wearing this really cute dress, like dancing in this cage, and we're like having fun drinking. And so David's like drinking these shots, and they like light them on fire. They taste like black licorice. Disgusting. It's pure alcohol. I mean, I guess a shot, like it's not mixed. It's just like alcohol. So I've got to find photos too. I liked when I do stories and like insert pictures. So this guy is like talking to us, and he said he was a security guard for that nightclub, but he was off that night and he was just like hanging out in there like partying, which could like totally be a lie, but I was like, yeah, great. So he's hanging out with us. We're like chatting with him the whole night, dancing, blah, blah, blah. Not dancing with him, just like whatever. He's like hanging out with us the whole night. So David starts to get really drunk. Like when he had his fourth shot, he was like really drunk, and he doesn't drink hard liquor now. Let's just say that. Like he was like, just like kind of like out of it, and I was like, uh-oh, like this is not gonna be good. So the guy was like, oh, here, let's go to this other nightclub. I can get you in for free because, you know, I like have connections. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So we go to another nightclub, which is so dumb. Like obviously David just needed to go back to our room, or we both did, not just David. We both just needed to go back to our room and go to bed. But I was like, no, yeah, let's go. And David was like, yeah, let's, you know, whatever. So we go to this next nightclub. We're just hanging out with this like bodyguard guy, and David's like starting to like kind of fall asleep, and I was like, we need to go back to our room. Like, thanks so much, but like we gotta go. And like David was so like drunk that like he could hardly like walk. And like this is like, he did not realize. So if you ever go to Vegas, don't drink absinthe. He did not realize like that this was gonna happen. And so like this nice bodyguard guy was like, oh, I'll help you take him back to your room. And I was like, okay, like I didn't have any other choice. I had to get us back to our room. So he takes us back to our room, and I think we were both like, I don't even know. We were both like holding it. Like he could not even hardly walk. It was awful. So bad. Anyways, we get back to our room, and David like falls into the door, like falls into the bed or whatever. And then I immediately like go to shut the door, and the guy, he tried to come in, and he was like, can I come in? Like he thought, like he just assumed he was coming in. And I slammed the door in his face. I said, no. And then he said, okay, well, call me. And he slid his business card underneath the door. So I don't know what happened. Like, I think maybe he was thinking like this was something else. So awkward, so embarrassing. And like I said, like that could have gone into, like thinking back on it now, I'm like, that could have been really bad and really scary. So like, don't just because they say they're like a bodyguard or security guard or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Don't just like let people like walk. I mean, it was crazy. So that's the first story I have. Another crazy story I have in Vegas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so one time we were going to this nightclub that had Calvin Harris playing at it. And I was like, please babe, we've got to go. I want to see him. I want to see him so bad. And he could care less. He was like, I don't really care. So we go, and girls were free. I was like, girls are free. It'll be so much fun. I can get in for free. And he's like, okay. And so we go and we wait in line, and the line was like looped around this like hotel lobby. It was so long. We waited for an hour, get up to the front, and I'm like, okay, girls are free. Get my wristband. And then we're like, okay, how much is David? And they said $100. So the cover charge for guys was $100. $100. And I was like, we have to, we waited in line for so long. We have to go in. You have to pay $100. I'm sorry, you have to pay it. Like, that's not including drinks or anything. Like, that's just to walk inside. So we paid the $100. We get in, and it was packed. Like, we could not even see, we couldn't even find the bar. We're like I'm like holding the back of his blazer, like trying to like scoot around. Can't find anything. And eventually the only thing we did find was the exit. And we walked right back out, and like David was like, I'm not going back in. So we basically spent $100 to just walk through a freaking nightclub. Awful. So bad. Don't do that. Don't make these mistakes that we make on vacations. Okay, and another one in Vegas. This was, no, not the most recent time, but this was the time before that. We had just gotten out of a show, and we went and sat at a bar, and we were like gonna get some drinks. So we're sitting at this bar ordering drinks, and this guy, I have video footage too of this. I think I should totally put it in here because I don't even think you can see his face. It was like back when I used to use Snapchat, and I was like Snapchatting him because it was so funny. So we sit down, and he's like, oh yeah, their drinks are on me. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. So we start talking to him. He was super nice and everything. And he just was like bragging about how much money he has and how he like makes so much money and has this huge company. And he was wearing this Rolex that was gorgeous. It had like diamonds all over it. And I was like, oh, I love your watch. And he was like, oh, do you want it? And I was like, no, thanks. Like, that's fine.
Oh, little crowd. There you go, picture.
Give him another shot.
And later David and I were like, he probably would have like sent someone like either to like kill me or like maybe it was stolen, like who knows. But I was like, no thanks, I don't want your Rolex. But he kept buying our drinks. He just kept ordering our drinks and buying them for us. And so I was like, all right, this is great, we'll just stay here all night. So we stayed there for a long time, and he just like kept talking about how much, oh, he had like a girlfriend, he had a wife. I think I said, we were talking about kids. I was like, oh yeah, do you have kids? Like, and he was like, oh yeah, here's my wife, but here's my girlfriend. And he was like showing his like sleaze bag. Anyways, he wanted us to really know that he had a lot of money. Like, he really wanted us to know he had a lot of money. So he had this guy like behind him, this like big like bodyguard guy in like a suit, and he was like, show him how much money I got. And I was like, what's going on? So we're just like sitting at the bar, and he's like, show him how much money I got. And so the guy in the suit like pulls out this envelope and hands it over to this dude, and he pulls it out, and it's just filled with $100 bills. And he just starts scattering them across the bar table, and he goes, I don't even want it. I don't even need it. Here, you could take it.
You just gotta kind of worry about who you're watching, showing that money to, guy.
I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm great, thanks. But oh my gosh, it was so funny, and so like clearly he was wasted and didn't know what he was like. I mean, it was just so funny. And for some reason, like David and I have like a knack for finding people that like want to like support us or like buy us our drinks, because that happened too. Even like where we live here, there's this guy, and before we had kids, we would go like out to like different like bars and stuff, and there's not that many choices out here. There's like maybe like 2 like cool ones, and they're not even there anymore, but at the time. And so like we always ran into this guy, and he would like buy all of our drinks and our food. Like he would take the tab every time, and I'm just like, I don't know what it is, like why we attract people like that, but like I don't know, they just take our tab. Like it's happened a lot. Like, is that just like a thing where like people just want to like show off, like show that they have a lot of money? Like I would never like just go up to strangers and sit by them and like take their tab. Like that's weird. Maybe it's like something like the first guy in the story. Maybe it's like one of the, I don't know. But those are my Vegas stories that I could think of. Okay, now I want to get to the Mexico one, because we do have a really funny one from Mexico too. So we were in Mexico and we met this couple. We always like, I love meeting people, and it's so fun because people are so interesting. Like I just love like hearing their like life. Like people are so interesting. I cannot wait to like meet people and do a whole story time video on whoever we meet when we're there next weekend. So we meet this couple. They're so great. Like they were awesome. Talking, chatting. They're from New York, blah, blah, blah. So we go to dinner that night, and did we see the guy or the girl? I think we saw the girl. Okay, so we see the girl at dinner, and she's like laying on the couch on the, she's like laying like this on this guy, and he's like rubbing her shoulders. And so I was like, hey, and she's like, hey. And like, you could tell she was like a little bit awkward. And that's when I noticed that the guy she was all over like wasn't her husband. I was like, so I like walked away. I was like, oh gosh, this is awkward. And so David was with me too, and he was like, that wasn't her husband, was it? And I was like, no, that wasn't her husband. And so we were so confused. Like I was like, is she cheating on her husband while she's on vacation with her husband? Like how freaking weird. So I think that's it. I think that's all that happened that day. So the next day we saw them at the pool, and it was like all 4 of them. So it was the girl that we met, and then her husband, and then it was the guy that she was on, and then some other girl. And so I was like, okay, hey guys. And like the whole time, like I thought like I had witnessed this affair, and I was trying to keep it under wraps, like not let them know that I knew that their spouses were cheating on each other. So I'm like, just like, you know, like, hey, oh yeah, oh, who are you? Nice to meet you. Like I'd never met this other dude before, even though I did. And so we ended up like hanging out with them. They were all really fun. The other couple was from Canada. And then there was like a younger couple too that came and started hanging out with us too. 2 more couples. There was like 2, 4, there was like maybe 2, 4, 6, 8. There was 10 of us. So we like became this little like group. It was so much fun. So we were like playing and like drinking. We stayed up super late, and we were like, anyways, I got really drunk, and I was like, I was so confused because throughout the day they were like, kind of like switching, like they would like flirt and then like touch on the, I was so confused. So by the end of the day, like after I had some liquor in me, I was like, so you guys like swingers or like, and they were like, oh yeah. So I mean, I don't know, this is totally foreign to me. Maybe it's not to other people, but I was like, what? Like it was crazy. They had met at a resort the year before that was like a nude resort, and then so they go on vacation as couples together, and it was so weird. We ended up still like hanging out with them the rest of the trip and stuff, and like they would like, I like never knew who to expect, like who was gonna be with who, and then she'd be like, oh yeah, he's back at the room with her, and like you could tell like she was agitated. I'm like, why are you letting this happen? But then like, and they would talk about like presents they got each other, like, yeah, since we live in Canada, like he like ships me things from, I think it was like Victoria's Secret, because they don't have that in Canada. I don't know. It was crazy, but they were fun to hang out with. But it was just like, it was so crazy. I didn't know that like really existed. And they were like, they had like visited each other. They were like, yeah, our kids get along great. And I was like, what? Your kids get along with each other? Like so insane. I hope we see them again one day, because it was just, they were just quite a hoot. Anyways, those are my stories. I hope you guys enjoyed. I just want to know, like, who do you always meet crazy people on vacation? Because I feel like we always meet like like we always have these encounters that are just so interesting and so awkward and funny, and I am like, okay. Maybe I'm just an awkward person, I don't know, but I think it's fun. So let me know your craziest encounter of people that you've met on vacation, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will probably be like maybe a Mexico vlog. And thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you would like to, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.